that's when we're really meant to be out there, connecting, collaborating, and where we can see the efforts of our work. And it's also the opportunity to say, what habits do I need to release? So if we're working on like manifesting financial abundance and we're following the moon cycles, the full moon is then a time to ask, where am I stuck in scarcity mindset? What are the habits that might be keeping me stuck in a place where I'm not embracing or welcoming in the abundance that I want to be aligned to? And it's that practice of releasing again as well. So even, people that don't follow astrology, I think this system of like taking time to set intentions, put things into practice, recharge your energy, let go of what isn't working, really just sets you up for success in itself.
Oh, totally. And I almost like when I first started working with the lunar cycle, it felt like it was like there was a new opportunity kind of like every 2 weeks or so, right? Like, oh, well, like I didn't do so great on that one. Like I'm restarting now kind of thing, which felt amazing, right? It's like I got another opportunity to be more focused or set an intention and be clearer on that, have more clarity. So it felt like every month there was this, every 2 weeks there was this either release or call in and the ability to kind of reset.
Absolutely, yeah. Always that chance to start again and to see like what's working, what isn't, and knowing we have the power to change that as well. Like we can always begin again. If something isn't working, we have the power to change that and put a new habit into place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So I didn't realize, but people can ask questions. So if you're listening to this live, there's a little chat box, and I just got like this thing pop up, and it said, "It feels lonely in here. Be the first to send a message."
Oh.
So I'm like, if you have a question for Kara, like, or me, post it in the little chat box and we will answer it live on here. We can see if anybody is listening live or if it comes up. So tell us a little bit, because we're talking a lot about the moon. Tell us a little bit about this full moon on the 28th of June.
For sure. So it's happening in the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is the energy of the builder in the zodiac. It wants to build, it wants to manifest. It rules over house 10 of career and public standing. So it's this beautiful opportunity to really look at, where am I in relation to my goals right now? And to set any goals around where we want to be in terms of our career, because this Capricorn energy is really going to bring that into focus right now as well. And it's also forming a conjunction with Saturn. And basically, there's these different terms in astrology for how the planets are relating to one another. And a conjunction means when they're within 10 degrees and their energies kind of fuse together. So this really is the opportunity to look at where I may need to bring more discipline to my life, where I need to build a solid foundation in order to achieve success. Because the Capricorn energy, it wants us to elevate into like the highest and best version of ourselves. And with Saturn in Capricorn this year, I think collectively we're really feeling that right now, like where we are in relation to our goals, wanting to fully step up into our fullest potential. And this full moon is that invitation to do that. And the opposite sign of Capricorn is Cancer. And right now we're in Cancer season. We just entered the solstice on the 21st, so it could be summer solstice or winter solstice, depending where you are in the world, but we are in Cancer season now as well. And so these signs of the zodiac they're like working together, the Capricorn and Cancer energy right now. And the Cancer energy is bringing in that intuitive element as well. So it's asking how we're using our intuition as we move toward our goals as well. So are we listening to the wisdom of our body? Are we connected with that inner guidance system as we move toward our goals? And today there was actually a really interesting aspect that was happening in the cosmos that was really like getting us to dig deep into those soul desires. We have the Jupiter-Venus square happening today. And basically this is the question of, am I living a life that is in alignment with what I truly value and what really matters to me? Because we're kind of digging deep right now with Jupiter in Scorpio. to figure out like some of that shadow work, some of the things that we've repressed in our life, and we're starting to integrate them into who we are and how we're showing up in the world. And we're becoming really aware of, am I feeling like happy in my day to day life? Am I feeling like my career and what I'm doing in the world is a reflection of my soul calling and what I'm here to do? And with your podcast, which is all about money, it's so interesting that the full moon in Capricorn too is really addressing that as well. Capricorn energy is about achievement, it's about success, it's about manifesting what we desire in our life. And having that financial abundance, having that money can be a beautiful way to make an impact in the world. And I think the more as well that we're seeing healers and light workers really stepping up and releasing that scarcity mindset,
Mm-hmm.
it's so important, right? That we're stepping into this place of abundance now and realizing that if I'm a good person and I have money, I'm going to do really amazing things with it. So the full moon's bringing that into focus too. So it is a good time to release any beliefs around money that may be keeping you from stepping into that full potential and making a difference with all the beautiful things you can do with financial abundance in your life.
Yeah, like you can't make an impact if you don't have money. It's just how it is in our world right now. Like we have money, and until we live on a planet that doesn't use money, we're going to need to have money. And if you are wanting to make an impact, then you better figure out your limiting beliefs around the money situation, right? Like it's my soul work to change the people who are conscious, who are intuitive light workers, all of these people who are changing the frequency of our world and how we do business. And they've got to have money. It's like my personal mission. You will have money so that you can make your impact.
Well, yeah, and I love that because I think for so many healers and light workers, and it's changing now, but there was like this ingrained belief, I feel collectively, that money was evil in some way, or
Oh
the
yeah.
idea that if I'm doing healing work, then I'm not meant to have money. It's like I just have to kind of be struggling a little bit, or guilt about asking for money, and I feel that's shifting as well. Like we're going through a shift where we're changing the way that we see our relation to money and starting to view it as energy, and that it can be spiritual and it can help me fulfill my purpose in the world, and knowing that our beautiful work deserves to be supported. So all of this is coming into focus with the full moon as well. And when you start to like manifest with this cosmic energy, you start to sink in, like the more you follow these rhythms and cycles, you can feel the energy of how the universe is assisting you in releasing those beliefs that aren't a vibrational match to who you now are or what you're creating in your life, right? This is the opportunity where you can release it and let it go. And like I learned in my training in the Akashic Records, when often when we release something or we ask like our angels, our guides to let that go, or we make a decision, we're going to change that belief, it's done in the spiritual realm. It's already done. And it's just our ego sometimes that brings us back into those old patterns and habits. So it's our job, just once we know it's released, it's done, that we just fully stay in alignment with that and don't allow ourselves to fall back into the old patterns again.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I talk with clients about that all the time where they're like, when is this going to be over? Like, when am I going to be out of this, belief? And it's like, you are out of it. You just keep pulling yourself back into it by saying that you're not out of it. Like, if you make a new decision and you cut a cord on this, you're done. You're out. Like,
So true. Yeah. And it's so powerful to get into that, right?
yeah, like it's over kind of thing, right? Like it's your, sometimes you might have a little inkling of a story, but it's your ability to go back into that so easily. You can make a decision and say, no, that's not what I think anymore. It's not applicable to me. Like it bounces off of you. And
Exactly.
yeah. And so it is, right?
I love it, yeah, because we're so powerful. We can make that decision and just trust that is the new way that it is now, and allow it to be. Allow ourselves to release the resistance, and that's what this full moon energy is about. Releasing that resistance, allowing yourself to let that go, so you can step into the truth of who you are and the power that you hold, and work toward those big goals and dreams, because the Capricorn energy is all about that. It's like represented by the mountain goat, slowly climbing its way to the top, but knowing that it's going to get there, and it's building a solid foundation each step of the way. So all that's coming into focus, and people that are sensitive to the full moon energy, like they may already be feeling it. We're only a few days out now. So I find like some people may not sleep as well as we lead up to a full moon. Even people that are not as sensitive to energy, they still tend to feel this pull of the full moon. And it's also, it brings to the surface anything that's been buried or hidden, and that's why some people find they're more emotional at the full moon as well. It's because it's already there. It was just kind of buried or hidden, and now it's coming to the surface. So when we're talking about beliefs as well, the full moon is that opportunity to become more aware of what some of those maybe subconscious beliefs are, those beliefs that you're not aware of. They can surface during this time, and it can also be expressed in your emotions or how you're feeling. So just knowing that those emotions and those beliefs are coming up, not for you to get stuck in them and stay in the same pattern, but for you to be able to release them and let them go and move on, right? Let's really just elevate into the best version of yourself.
Yeah, like so amazing. Like, amen. Preach. So good, so good. So if somebody was like, if this is all new to somebody, somebody's listening and they're like, oh, I read my horoscope in the paper. They don't, total beginner. Where do they start, Kara?
Mm. Yeah, so honestly, I do think like following the moon cycles is the next best place to start. I do always recommend that everybody get a natal chart reading, whether that's with me or somebody else. I do think everybody needs to know their birth chart and their soul blueprint and the energy they're working with. And then from there, you can really build and get a better idea of your unique combination of energy. And it brings a lot of clarity when you begin to know like what your life purpose is, what you're here to do. And you can even explore past lifetimes in birth charts as well and see like the strengths and the gifts that you come into this lifetime with that you developed in past lives. Because even like the challenges that we face, we come fully equipped to be able to deal with that. And it's really neat to see those patterns in the chart as well. So I do think it would be so helpful for everyone's journey to look into the birth chart. But you can also begin by following the moon phases and the moon cycle as well. So knowing that the full moon is on Thursday, make that your place to start. You can have a full moon ritual that can be as simple as taking 10 minutes to go within, really do some reflection on how you're feeling in your life, where you are in relation to your goals, what needs to be released and let go of. I charge my crystals outside in the full moon as well, just setting the intention that they're taking in that energy.
Oh, me too. Me too. I'm always like, hang on, wait, I got to run out with my little like gang of crystals.
Oh, I know. My husband laughs at me because he's not as into this stuff, but he knows I am. So
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I put them out in the full moon. I started doing crystal grids too, and it's not, crystals and stuff aren't necessarily my specialty. I've always just kind of used my intuition and like choosing what ones resonate with me. And the more I actually got into not so much astrology, but my background in the Akashic records, the more that I came to appreciate crystals and knowing that they all have their own journey too. They have their own energy, and that's when I started becoming more aware of their power and wanting to charge them in the full moon, wanting to make these crystal grids. And that's part of my manifestation ritual now as well on the new moon, and especially on the full moon. I'll always put my gemstones and crystals out on the full moon. I'll charge them with an intention, and then I create a crystal grid just using my intuition and how I place the crystals and set an intention around them for what I'm working on manifesting.
Yeah, that's I do too. And it's so funny because I have clients or friends and they'll be like, show me how to do this crystal grid thing you do. And I'm like, it's really, it's just you connecting. Like, just be quiet and like listen and you'll be guided. Like, there's no right or wrong. It's